next on the phone, we have Dr. Emir Crowne. He is a trainee by way of Connecticut. Uh, he's one of the top sports lawyers in the world. Hey, Doc, what's up? How you doing, man?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Great, great, great. We're still talking about the Sha'Carrie Richardson situation. Previously we spoke with Ray Edwards. He's a track and field coach and former athlete. He has some very interesting ideas. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the group call that we wanted to put in on everybody, but we're trying to get everybody in one at a time. So one of the things that we really wanted to touch on was the fact that cannabis is a banned substance. Could you explain as briefly and as openly for just about every listener in Radio Land, why is cannabis on the WADA banned list?
Well, I mean, simply, WADA takes a view that cannabis has sport performance benefits. It somehow benefits the athlete. So this WADA will say it can either enhance performance or it could harm the health of the athlete.
Right.
One wonders how interested WADA is truly in the health of an athlete, but that's a different.
That's a different question right there. Like for instance, like a target sport, you would want to be calmer, you want to be more focused and more relaxed. Certainly, I could imagine that being a normal scenario for a cannabis user. I myself do not use cannabis, but I am a kind of business advocate. But I do talk about cannabis use in a responsible context. For instance, an athlete, an elite level athlete, is like a Ferrari. You're not going to go by the corner store and say, hey, what you have, yeah, oil there. What's going on? What's going on? It's hard. It's sticky. Let me get a little quart now. Lick my up a little quart of oil there and I'm put it in my Ferrari. Nobody does that. So why are athletes, why are top elite athletes, pros with 7-figure contracts, why are they going to the street corner and looking for dope?
Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is I've had clients who, not cannabis, but they've been addicted to things like painkillers.
Right.
And when they run out of painkillers, they do in fact go literally down the alley to find someone who could supply them with a painkiller.
Right.
And I mean, in that case, the painkiller happened to be contaminated with fentanyl, and
Right.
fentanyl is banned. But it does happen, right? Because I mean, if it forms part of your routine, it's no different than if you run out of rum, right? You say, well, I'm gonna make a rum run at 8 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Right.
Never did it, but yeah. I know a few people.
Hey, there's not that kind of show.
I will knock them.
One of the things that recently I would have came across was somebody was talking about a contaminated pork burrito. American middle distance runner. She was saying that she ate a pork burrito, pig offal, Chris, pig offal, right? So pig in organs basically.
Yeah.
In a burrito, right?
In a burrito. I mean,
how much? I don't eat pork. I know you do, right?
I do.
How much pork is in a burrito, Chris?
If it's in the States, quite a lot.
Quite a lot of pork.
Yeah, boy.
Enough.
They like their pork.
Enough to give you a boost in a 5,000 meter.
But, I mean, Mr. Crowne, Emir,
Dr. Crowne, boy, give man anything. Man, work hard for that, boy.
Well, we've had conversations about the law actually through class. Let me ask you a question. There are like 3 high-profile cases. I mean, the Sha'Carrie Richardson would be the last one, then the girl with the burrito, and then before that, there's the other athlete who just got 5 years.
Brianna
McNeil. Is WADA becoming an easier body to deal with, or is it becoming a more difficult body to deal with? Are athletes really, is it that athletes are not following the rules, or is WADA just stamping their authority and trying to show, look, we in charge?
I mean, fair enough. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, but I guess I'll say the first thing is the American athletes have done an amazing job at the media narrative, at controlling the media narrative. Because, I mean, quite frankly, I wish I could buy a pork burrito and it be contaminated with steroids. I would love a little something.
And then you go and pump up in Egypt.
When you think about how much steroids cost, I think that's really a good way to get them, you know?
Yeah, no, and I mean, for like a full 3/4 of a day, right? That was the media narrative, that how could you ban someone from eating a burrito?
Yeah,
and,
right.
and you know, even with Coleman was making a run to buy Mexican food.
Right.
And they said, Mexican food seems to be the magic pill or the unmagic pill. But and that's what's interesting about the way the American athletes have handled it, because American athletes have made it seem that when they have doping problems, it's somehow much greater than when any other athlete has a doping problem. Any other country is dirty except America. We just happen to be eating burritos and unfortunately contaminated.
Calm down, Dr. Crowne. Calm down, Dr. Crowne.
And recovering from, we had actions and had things that happened in our life that we needed to smoke some marijuana to get over.
You know,
stuff like that.
not to make it sound trivial, right? But the fact that it is an American athlete at an American championship that was busted for cannabis brings a couple of things into focus. First of all, the USATF Olympic trials was under the jurisdiction of USADA, which is the American Anti-Doping. USADA's statement is claiming that Sha'Carrie would have used cannabis out of competition. However, she got popped on her semi-final race. The WADA code is basically saying in competition is from 12 noon, the day before.
Yeah, it is.
Right? So, I mean, how much cannabis is in a joint? How high do you need to be to get over your dead parent? I don't know. I have 2 dead parents. I never smoked anything. I don't know.
What is the actual limit right now? I know the limit has moved, but so, if you give us that and then possibly how high...
Perhaps you should give him a question. Dr. Crowne, do you know of a scenario where this kind of thing could have happened, where somebody would have gotten a doping positive at the end of a race in a semi-final in a championship, and then they would be explained by their doping agency as an out of competition test?
No.
Yeah, again, there's a lot to unpack there, because USADA has given Richardson a 30-day ban for marijuana, which is the lowest possible. It's normally 1 to 3 months, which I find highly suspect, because, as you say, I mean, marijuana is banned in competition, yet when you read USADA's press release, it seems as though the consumption took place out of competition. And in competition and out of competition are both defined terms in the WADA code.
Right?
I don't want to get down that road, but when you read USADA's press release, it's not as clinical as one would hope an anti-doping agency's press release would be. It kind of says, well, she's grieving and she's still sought counseling, and we're giving her 1 month. But they don't actually discuss that very crucial difference between in competition being banned, out of competition it not being banned. And it is a threshold substance. I think the threshold is like 150 nanograms per ml or something.
It went up to 180.
Like
I think it was 150 before, now it's 180. But a question for you though, Dr. Crowne. Did you actually see that interview which the reporter, unnamed, never been published, because I haven't seen it. Have you seen that interview in which she was asked about, did she know about her dead mother?
No,
I haven't seen it. Do you know who the parent is? I don't know of why or how or when she died either. I don't know if you do, if you know.
No, but I mean, look, let's be frank, right? I mean, whether, I don't mean to put whether or not her mother died or had illness, one could come up with any sort of excuse. for marijuana. Oh, it was the day before Olympic trials. I was nervous. Oh, I was expecting a delivery. Delivery didn't come on time. Amazon was late. I was nervous. Like, you could come up with any excuse to get public sympathy, with all due respect to her.
Right, yeah.
Right.
I get you. Mr. Crowne, it's been a pleasure having you on. I think, of course, from time to time, we are going to be calling you.
Because I get the feeling there are other athletes who may or may not be
requiring his expertise.
yeah, somebody else is going to keep that number on speed dial after Tokyo. I'm hoping there aren't any Mexican burritos. I hope sushi is a lot straightforward, real
No,
straightforward.
but maybe there's beef in Japan that might be tainted. Who knows?
Tainted Kobe beef. Hey, Dr. Crowne, thanks for taking the call, my brother.
Thank you.
Dr.
Thank
I hope
you.
you're staying safe. Don't let anybody give contaminated burrito or cough in your face.
Yes.
All right, my brother. So, hey, it's almost 5 to the top of the hour there, and this is the TT Game Plan with Dennis Tay and Chris Gill, and all our friends who we call from time to time. And right now, we're going to take another.